WTO, World Trade Organization,
Okay.
as well as foreign trade policy
Yeah.
in block 5. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. The screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So when we talk about global environment, there are few things that need to be taken care of. You must know what are the, what do you say, regulations which are given by the government. And whenever you are into any international trades, regulation regarding import and export of the products, whereas manufacturing is concerned, these regulations need to be very clear to you. So all those regulations come under, we have this GATT, GATT, and WTO, that is World Trade Organization is there, and General Agreement on Tariffs, that is Tariff and Trade, that is GATT is there. So these organizations provide you the regulations which one need to be knowing when they deal with international environment, or you can say global environment. Okay. So we'll be discussing few of these regulation under GATT and WTO. First of all, talking about WTO, the World Trade Organization is a multilateral organization, basically, which has been headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It came into existence on 1st January 1995. So as a successor, before we had GATT, but WTO came after that. The organization functions as the central body that facilitates global trade throughout the world. So the WTO provide a common platform to negotiate trade agreements among member countries. So whatever, so it's not like each and every country in the world come under GATT and WTO. There are few restricted countries which come under the category of WTO and GATT. So basically, WTO managed 60 global and about 300 regional trade agreements. The 60 trade agreements are accorded the result of international law. The WTO comprises 162 member states are there, right? There are also observer states that are not signatories to the WTO agreements, and they do not participate in free trade. Though there are few other states also present in WTO, but those states do not participate in this free trade under WTO. Now, coming to the discussing the structure of WTO, there is the ministerial conference. So the ministerial conference of WTO meets every 2 years to make important decisions about existing trade agreement. Now, a question might come like, in what interval WTO meets occur? So the answer is 2 years, like that. The ministerial conference holds the authority to make decision on any aspect of all multilateral agreement made under WTO. The conference include a representative from all members of WTO. So each and every country that fall under WTO, so they need to send a representative for these conferences for making the decisions. It gives equal representation to all its members, regardless of the size of the economy or share in international trade. So however smaller the country is, however the economy size is, but each and every member has given equal opportunity to speak and put up their point. It can be thought of as the legislative branch of WTO. You can say like that. The WTO is headed by the ministerial conference, while the daily operations are carried out by three administrative bodies. There is a separate administrative body. These separate bodies are General Council, then you have Dispute Settlement Body, and Trade Policy Review Body. Excuse me for a minute, please.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was telling about the three internal bodies. That is the General Council, the Dispute Settlement Body, and Trade Policy Review. So the General Council comprises the representative of all member countries and act as the representative of the ministerial conference. When we talk about daily operations under WTO, its job is to carry out the implementation and monitoring functions of WTO. The General Council is further divided into multiple councils and committees that focus on specific topics. Like, for example, Council on Goods, the Council on Services, the Committee on Textile under the Council of Goods, like that. Next, under this, we have a Dispute Settlement Body. So the Dispute Settlement Body is about part of General Council and is responsible for settling trade dispute between member states. So there is also an appellate body where members can state and appeal any decision made against them during a dispute settlement. So they have this dispute settlement body for this purpose. Now the third wing is Trade Policy Review Body. The Trade Policy Review Body is also a part of General Council and is responsible for ensuring that trade policies of member states are in line with the goals of WTO. So whatever the goals, whatever the policies are set up with WTO need to be aligned with the trade policy review. Member countries are required to inform the WTO about changes in their law and trade policies as well. The body undertakes regular reviews of the policy to ensure they conform to the rules of WTO. This is the part of the monitoring function of WTO, and it helps the WTO to adapt to the changing economic landscape. So basically, these are the three wings, you can say, of WTO under ministerial conference. So the main thing under WTO is ministerial conference, which take place every 2 years. And in this ministerial conference, basically, there are three branches, you can say, or three departments, you can say. The first one is the General Council, then you have Dispute Settlement and Trade Policy Review Body. So this is the structure of WTO. Now give me a moment, I'll just take an attendance. No. Now, talking about the functions of WTO. So the WTO can be broadly divided into the categories like trade negotiation, implementation and monitoring, then again dispute settlement, building trade capacity, and outreach. Now let's see what these functions are. The first one is trade negotiation. So the WTO facilitates trade negotiation among countries by providing a framework to structure the agreement as well as providing dispute resolution mechanism to them. Okay, it creates an international legal framework that ensure the smooth exchange of goods and services among the member countries. Okay, so this is how trade negotiation take place. They give a proper structure through which all the exchange of goods and services can take place between the member countries. That is trade negotiation. Next function is implementation and monitoring. So once the agreements are negotiated between the countries, the job of WTO is to ensure that the signatory countries adhere to the commitment in practice. It also produces research based on the impact of the agreement on the economies of the countries involved. So first of all, they sort out the they negotiate the agreement and they take care that proper implementation is being done, and a proper research department is also being set up so that proper monitoring is done on the agreement. So whatever the agreements are being negotiated on them. So that is implementation and monitoring. Next, third function is dispute settlement, which is already being discussed under the branch, or you can say the category of WTO, the structure of WTO. That is, the WTO also acts as a dispute settlement body when there is a trade conflict between its member state. The member of WTO can file complaint against other members if they feel the trade and economic policies of the country are divergent from their commitments under one of the agreement of WTO. Following the complaint, there are formal hearings like a court until a settlement is reached. Okay, so that is dispute settlement among the member countries. Next, fourth function is building trade capacity. So the WTO runs special programs to support developing countries by helping them build the capacity to participate in free trade with more developed countries. It also gives concession under certain agreement to low development countries to ease them into free trade and other countries. So basically, they help out the countries, those who are in need of help in building the capacity to participate in free trade. So the countries which are not capable, they help out those countries. So that is building trade capacity. And the last one is outreach. That is, the WTO carries out outreach across the world as a part of its larger objective to promote free trade. They try to persuade governments to reduce barrier to trade to free, fair, and open markets around the world. Basically, they try to make the government of the member countries understand that how important the trades are for them. So that is their outreach program. Through this program, they try to persuade the member country government so that they participate in the trades with each other, and how they tell how beneficial it could be for the economy of those member government. Okay. So this is how WTO can be described, the functions and the structure of WTO. A long question may come on WTO, so do not leave this topic describing the basic of WTO, how it has been formed, initial and when the meeting is taking place, then structure and the function. So all of these need to be covered. Okay, clear?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we will discuss few things about GATT also, because GATT and WTO is like any one of them will be there in your long answer. So both are important. So GATT is basically, the full form of GATT is General Agreement on Tariffs and Trades. So it is an international agreement superseded by the World Trade Organization in 1994 that minimized barrier to international trade by eliminating or reducing quota, tariffs, and subsidies. So let's understand what GATT is. It was first signed in 1947 by 23 countries. It is a treaty minimizing barrier to international trade by eliminating or reducing quotas, tariffs, and subsidies. It was intended to boost economy recovery after World War II. So that was the basis of formation of GATT. What was the basis? To eliminate, or you can say minimize, the international trade by eliminating, reducing quotas, tariffs, and subsidies. And because of World War II, there was a lot of economic, what do you say, downfall was there. So to recover, to come out of that economic downfall, it was introduced. This agreement came into force. So GATT was expanded and refined over the years, leading to the creation in 1995 of WTO. So before WTO, what was there for trade, international trade? We had this GATT for that. In 1994, superseding GATT, WTO came into force. So WTO, which absorbed the organization created to implement GATT. By then, 125 nations were signatories to its agreement, which covered about 90% of the global trade. Also, the Council for Trade and Goods is now responsible for the GATT and consists of representatives from all WTO member countries. Right. As of September 2022, the chair of the Goods Council is Etienne Otut de Danville. The council has 10 committees that address subjects including market access, agriculture, subsidies, and anti-dumping measures. Let's see the key features of GATT. The first one is the General Agreement of Trade and Tariffs was signed by 23 countries. First of all, in October 1947. Mark this thing, when it was first signed in October 1947 by 23 countries after World War II, and became law. It became law on which date? That is on January 1st, 1948. The purpose of GATT was to make international trade easier. It held 8 rounds in total from April 1947 to December 1993, each with significant achievement and outcomes. In 1995, the GATT was absorbed into World Trade Organization, which extended it. So in 1995, finally GATT got absorbed by WTO, and it has been extended in WTO. Now, what is the purpose of general agreement? Why this GATT was formed? Like, you could get this question as a short answer. So GATT was set up to eliminate protectionism, get countries trading freely among themselves, and help restore economic prosperity following the devastation of World War II. So that was the purpose, to restore economic prosperity following the devastation of World War II. That was the main purpose of formation of GATT. Now, what is the reason why GATT was replaced by WTO? So the GATT, though largely successful in its goal, was said to lack in coherent institutional structure. There was no coherent institutional structure of GATT. That was the major reason of getting it merged with WTO. In short, it was a legal agreement acting as an international organization. So the WTO incorporates the principles of GATT and is better positioned to carry them out, because some other things it is better versus in issues like intellectual property, and has faster dispute settlement system and wields more power. So the world would be a very different place without the GATT, I'll say. Its free trade ethos put an end to an end period of protectionism and economic hardship that led with World War II, paving the day for decades of economic growth and increased globalization. Excuse me. Yeah. So this was about GATT. Now, give me a moment. Let me check your syllabus. Where it is? Yeah, we have GATT and WTO. There is BRICS, G20, G8, and BIMS TEC also in your syllabus. So give a read on these 4 topics as well. Okay. Other than GATT and WTO. BRICS, G20, G8, and BIMS TEC. There are also international trade agreements. Then we have foreign trade policy and multinational corporation. Okay. 1 minute. Okay, we have this multinational corporation and foreign trade policy. So, foreign trade policy is like you need to read on your own because there is nothing much to explain on foreign trade policy and it can be dealt easily. So, I'll be explaining a few things about multinational corporation, its definition and types now. Okay. So basically, what a multinational corporation is, it is an organization that has assets or facilities in multiple countries. So that is the basic difference of, no, sorry, definition of MNC. That is, it has assets or facilities in multiple country, more than one country. While they typically have a main office in their home country, these organizations may have offices, factories, and other locations spread across the world. To be considered a MNC, an organization must have at least one location in another country. So if a corporation is having an organization in one country other than its parent company, it will be termed as MNC. So even if they already export goods abroad, so it does not matter if they are exporting the goods abroad, but they need to have a proper office, a proper business unit in other country. So many business owners want to diversify their portfolios by expanding their companies into new markets. So this can create international exposure, and an MNC often has a positive impact on each of the country where it operates. However, it is important to consider how MNC may affect politics, resources, and economies of the country where they operate. Now, let's understand how these MNCs work. So the structure and operation of MNC corporation may vary depending on the industry they are in. the size of their organization, and the goods or services they produce. While some authorities define a MNC as an organization that has at least one foreign branch, whereas there are other companies need to generate at least 1/4 of the revenue from foreign countries to earn this title. However, the primary requirement to become a MNC is to make a direct investment into another country by operating part of your business there. So it's not like your whole unit need to be shifted or need to be opened in the foreign country, in the other country, but at least you need to generate 1/4 of the revenue which you are generating in your home country. So at least 1/4 need to be generated in the foreign country. Then that organization will be termed as MNC. Now, what are the characteristics of MNC? These are as follows. The first one is large number of assets. To become a successful MNC, a company needs a high number of assets. This include tangible assets. Tangible assets could be like employees as well as financial assets. Next is broad network. So many MNCs have a broad network that stretches to many places on the globe. A company operates each branch to manage manufacturing, production, and sales operations. So they have a broader network. Next one is constant growth. So a successful MNC may experience constant growth. These corporations might try to expand its impact by placing one or more branches in the same location or by placing several branches in various countries. So you need to keep on growing continuously to be a successful MNC. Now talking about, 1 minute, give me a moment, please. Let me check in your notes what is given regarding MNC, what is there. That is types of MNC, okay. MNC. Okay. So let's talk about, we'll talk about this types later. First, we'll talk about the entry strategies of MNC, that how an MNC is came into functioning in any nation. What are the strategies, how they work? So basically, there are two modes. The first one is non-equity mode and second is equity mode. Excuse me. Yeah, we have non-equity mode and equity mode. So what is this non-equity mode? It consists of sharing arrangement between a foreign MNC and a local firm, where resources, risk, and operation control are divided between the partners. So in this case, the scale of entry is lower because the relations with the foreign market are based on contracts and do not imply a direct establishment. Next is equity mode. That is, it consists of bold greenfield investment and acquisition of already existing firm. So the resources committed, that is the scale of entry, is very high because there is a direct establishment in the foreign market. Yeah. So under under non-equity mode only, we have this exports. We have mode of entry under non-equity mode. We have the first one is exports. So we have direct export as well as indirect export. So indirect exports, companies can make use of domestic agent who operate on a commission basis without taking title of the good. MNC can also engage merchant who sell the products of the company in international market. They can also use the distribution facilities of other firms in international markets. So that is direct export. Under direct exports, we have sales representative and distributors in the importing countries. So sales representatives basically represent foreign supplier and manufacturers in their local market. They provide support services to the manufacturers regarding local advertising, sales presentation, customs clearance, legal requirement, all those things. Whereas distributor in the importing country will purchase product in their own right and resell it in their local market to wholesalers and retailers. So that is the direct export. We have sales representative and distributor. So under indirect export, a company can also export its product itself. The company develop overseas contacts and undertake marketing research, handles documentation and transportation, and decide the marketing mix. So company can employ its own salesperson who scout the customer in the foreign market and sell it to them. So that is indirect export. Under indirect export, we have export trading companies are there. Then export management companies are there. Export merchants are there. Confirming houses are there. So these houses, these are the basically intermediate sellers that work on foreign buyers, the confirming houses. Also, non-confirming purchasing as agents are there. They are similar to confirming houses with the exception that do not pay the suppliers directly. Payment takes place between a supplier and a foreign buyer. So that is indirect export. Next, we have contractual agreement. So MNC can either enter a foreign market by getting into contract and agreement with parties in the foreign market. So these agreements are like licensing is there. A foreign licenses provide, a foreign MNC or a foreign licensor provide a local license with access to technology, patent, trademarks, all those things. And other contractual agreements is franchising. So an international license agreement allow foreign firms either exclusively or non-exclusively to manufacture a proprietary product for a fixed term in a specific market. Franchising is a type of licensing agreement where packaged of service are offered by the franchisor to the franchisee in payment. Again, franchising can be done for product and trade franchising. And the second one is business format franchising, like we have for McDonald's and KFC. You must have seen that as a business format franchising. Now, and when we talk about product and trade franchising, it's like they sell out their formula that how they are producing certain products. So the same formula, when you are taking franchisee of that product, you need to follow the same formula and the same format, the way they are the parent company is manufacturing the product, and the same way you need to also produce the same thing. So that is product and trade franchising and business format franchising. Next category is a turnkey project. So a turnkey project refer to a project where client pay contract to design and construct new facility and trade personnel. In turnkey key project, a foreign company export its process and technology to other countries by building a plant in the country. So that is a turnkey project. Other than that, we have one more, that is research and development contracts. Next category is joint venture. A joint venture is a business agreement in which two or more parties agrees to pool their resources for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. The key issues to consider in joint venture are ownership, control, the length of agreement, pricing, technology, local firm capabilities and resources, and government intentions. Now, next one is a wholly owned subsidiary. So, a wholly owned subsidiary is a company that is completely owned by another company. So, the company that owns the subsidiary is called the parent company or holding company. A wholly owned subsidiary include two types, that is greenfield investment and acquisition. Now, greenfield investment is the establishment of a new wholly owned subsidiary. It is often complex and potentially costly. Also, such investment are preferred where physical capital intensive plants are planned. Now, acquisition. An acquisition is when one company purchases most or all of another company's share to gain control of that company. Basically, the market share usually is affected by market power. Therefore, many MNCs apply acquisition to achieve their greater market power, which requires buying a competitors, a supplier, a distributor, business in highly related industry to allow exercise of a core competency and capture competitive business advantage in the market. So this is how you can say the structure of MNC is being defined. Or you can say the modes of entry of MNC, how they function, how these multinational companies are functioning in other countries. So these are the ways. Also, a question might come on advantages of MNCs and disadvantages of MNCs. Countries like Bangladesh, India, and Indonesia have gained from the existence of MNC in their countries. So MNC bring capital in the form of FDI and contribute countries can pump in financial resources through own capital and funds raised in international capital market. So foreign multinationals are indeed more productive, pay higher wages, and are more export intensive than local firms. So that is capital formation. Next is export oriented industrialization. That is many developing countries' government liberalize their policies on foreign direct investment. For example, Singapore effectively tailored industrial policy to attract multinational and successfully managed MNC productively to complement ingenious industry. So that is export-oriented industrialization. Next is technological development. So the desire to obtain modern technology is perhaps the most important attraction of foreign investment. for developing countries. MNC allow developing countries to profit from the sophisticated research and development carried out by the multinational. Now, next one is employment generation. So MNC play a vital role in creating new kind of jobs and therefore can contribute to employment generation and increase of quality of life of the employees in developing countries. Next advantage is competency building. That is, building skills of local workers has proved to be essential to the successful transfer and diffusion of technology and knowledge. Foreign investment provides managerial skill and competency that improve production whenever it is possible. So MNC prefer to hire local people than the use of employees. However, the lack of an adequate skilled workforce in the developing country present a challenge to everyone. Low education levels of potential employees are a particular impediment to maximizing our local employee base. Therefore, MNC are often engaged in capacity building efforts and sometimes deliver education and training to groups in order to help them increase production and level to perform work routines more efficiently. Next is increase in tax revenue and it encourages competition. Talking about the disadvantages of MNCs, we have it's there. It prevent balanced development. It causes capital outflow. Employee exploitation is there. It causes environmental pollution sometimes. Then it stifles competition. Invasion of tax is there. Offensive activities and technological frauds. These are the disadvantages of MNC. So with this, we are done with the important key topics of your business environment paper. Now, I would like you all to take a moment and go through the syllabus. And if you want to ask any question, you can ask me.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, who is there? Jhansi and Noor. Yeah, please go through the syllabus, and if any doubt is there, you want to ask any question regarding exam or anything, you can ask me now. Yes, anything is there need to be discussed? Noor, Jhansi?
Ma'am, anything about Competition Act? I mean, other than reading about the Competition Act itself, do you think that anything else in that chapter would be important for us to focus on, such as composition of commission or duties of commission?
So you are asking from competition policy and law, the
Yes.
things need to be covered, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, give me a moment. I'll explain it to you.
Sure.
Action. I think there it is. Unit 8 is there, Unit 9. Yeah. So, sorry for the delay. So, in competition policy and law, then first of
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
did you said something?
Yes, ma'am, you weren't audible.
Oh my God, I'm not able to get. Can you please type your question in the chat box? Explain quickly about this thing, what could come in your examination from competition policy and law. Few things regarding this. Buy agreement, exclusive distribution agreement is there, resale price maintenance. So you need to understand and describe all those short things. Then also define what is competition commission in India and what is the composition of competition. Yeah, again, I'm sorry for the interruption. There was some technical issue at my end. Yes, Noor, what is Noor saying? Share PDF, ma'am. Yes, Chansi, you please drop your email address. You both of you, Noor and Chansi, I'll email the PDF, not the PDF, the PPT. In the chapter industrial sickness, other than Sika Act, what else can we read about from the exam point of view? Okay, so you are asking about the unit, right, Noor? Okay, we have discussed this industrial policy 1991 and economic reforms, and liberalization, privatization, and globalization is also being discussed. So, other than industrial sickness, industrial reform is important, and whole of the thing is like it will be a lot from this block. So, industrial reform, you cover whole of it, and the industrial sickness, what we have discussed. Other than that, competition policy, just read out the objective functions and roles and duties under competition policy and the basic objectives of competition policy and law. So that would be sufficient for examination point of view. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Let me take a screenshot of your email addresses, and after the class, I'll share the PPT. I do not have any PDF. I have this PPT only. And just be very careful while sharing the PPT.
Ma'am, you aren't audible.
Oh, I'm really sorry. There is power cut again and again in my area because of some issues. I'm really sorry about it. So I have taken your email addresses, both of you. I'll forward the PPT. Other than that, before your examination, if any doubt is there regarding any topic or anything you need to discuss regarding um, business environment paper, you can anytime mail me on my email address. I'll again post it here. So I'll be happy to help you out.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Also, ma'am, I had one question.
Yes, tell me.
In the industrial sickness chapter,
Yeah.
comment on the role of NCLT in the insolvency and bankruptcy code.
Yeah.
So, what can we write about that, ma'am?
Have you read bankruptcy code and NCLT?
I don't know much, ma'am, but this is an exam question apparently.
Yeah, just you have notes. You have notes provided by the university.
We don't have any notes, ma'am. They just give us the textbook.
So in textbook, the topic bankruptcy code and NCLT is there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just give it a read. If it is not clear, just ping me on my email address. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
I'll provide you with the better things. If it is not clear, so one before mailing me, pinging me, just give a read. Okay.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then that's all for your classes on business environment. All the best for your examination. Do reach me for any doubts, anything. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, then take care. Bye.
You too, ma'am. Bye-bye.